very soon after I finished Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, I thought to myself, is it possible to beat this game without Freddy? The short answer is no. So good night, guys. Anyway, there are a couple sections where he's required, but I thought, was it possible to beat the game without using Freddy in non-required sections? Is it possible? Yes. Is it easy? Well, you'll find out. Okay, but before I actually get into what I do for the challenge, the challenge in quotes, there's really only one rule. You can't use Freddy unless it's the hourly recharge that is required, or else you'll die, right? Because you can't really do that. Plus, the required sections for Freddy, which I will get into a little later. This challenge, to complete it, you just need to get an ending. A quick ending. So basically, all I need to do is take out one of the two animatronics, Monty or Chica, then take out Roxy, and then leave. That's basically what I have to do. Items that are important are the speed and stealth items. So the hoodie, the Fizzy Faz, and the shoes are like key items. And I have to kind of pick where I want to go very carefully because there are some sections that are either extremely scary or difficult without Freddy. Lucky for me though, there's a lot of sections in this game where you can't even use Freddy. So this challenge is not that bad. But like I said, I can make it more difficult in the future if you guys do want to see me do a harder version of this challenge. I'll do that another day. Enjoy the video. I started off the playthrough by skipping the first cutscene because I have seen it like 4 times, which will then lead you into the first section where you are already in Freddy. At this point, you would assume, oh no, challenge is done. Can't do it. Well, it's a cutscene, so I don't really count this section as a required Freddy section. I also decided that it would be in my best interest to turn off voice audio, because when you turn the voice audio off in this game, it will just skip certain segments of the game where you're just sitting and listening to dialogue. As you can see here, right after I look out the window and see Vanessa, Freddy already has the Fazwatch ready, which usually takes about a few seconds. So after Freddy gives us the Fazwatch, we are tasked to go through the vent and let him leave his room. But before we do that, we must go to the other side of Rockstar Row, where you get a backstage pass, allowing Freddy to escape. Just as I exited the vent and headed towards the backstage pass, I did realize something very unfortunate about the beginning of this run. I just started the challenge, and I just realized that there was a section that literally requires Freddy. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. This section is unfortunately one of the required segments for Freddy. You can't enter these utility tunnel doors without Freddy himself. There's an invisible barrier there. There's a way to get past an invisible barrier, but it also requires you to be inside of Freddy. So this section, unfortunately, is impossible. As I started going through the utility tunnels, I found this little endo crawling down the wall. I found out he really likes going into the floor. Interesting. We speed through the utility tunnels, go to the first aid station because Freddy thinks we're broken or some stupid stuff. They talk, but it's really awkward because there's just no audio for their voices, so they're kind of just standing there.
Vanessa, have you heard about the hit game Among Us?
Then I enter Freddy again and run through before Freddy runs out of power right in front of a power station. I save here and go through this section like normal. Use the cans to distract Chica, sneak around her, walk for a little bit, run into Monty, who breaks a gate behind you and begins to pursue you, where you will then run into Roxy and Chica once again, and it will bring you all the way to a security office, where, thanks to the no voice glitch, you can immediately grab the cameras and escape, where Chica is going to be a very, very easy obstacle. Now, you are in the main lobby. This is a section where, fortunately, Freddy is not around or available, so let's just play this game as normal at this point. The same goes for the daycare, but I'll talk about that when I get there. Once the front doors lock permanently, you're tasked with getting an entry pass, which is all the way on the far right of the lobby, near this little section here, with this character cutout and save station. Once you grab this, you're allowed to go into the bigger part of the main lobby and do a couple things here. At this point, I decided to do a little exploit, where when you get close to these sweeping mop bots, Chica, since she's in this area, will spawn behind me, allowing me to just run straight to the entry area and go right up to where I need to go without Chica noticing me. Unfortunately, I forgot to actually take a look at Chica. Every time you hear the alert sound, Chica teleports right behind you, so technically she got closer and closer every time, allowing her to jump scare me. I was able to use that exploit in a good way, went into Glamrock Gifts and grabbed the Mr. Hippo fridge magnet. After that, it was just figuring out where Chica was, which she was going upstairs, which was not ideal. So I just had to wait for her for a little bit, and then I had to go into customer service from the top coffee shop. So I made my way into the coffee shop, went downstairs, hacked the card machine, got a daycare pass, and made my way to the daycare. Luckily for me, the daycare is also another section that does not require Freddy. You can't actually use Freddy here. Once I got to the daycare, I went down the slide into the ball pit just to get one. What? The balls. Yeah, there they are. Where Sundrop appeared. Terrible name, by the way. He jumps into the ball pit, grabs me from it, and brings me to a location where I distract him and run straight for a flashlight battery upgrade. Once I got that flashlight upgrade, I attempted to escape the grasp of this lad, but I got stuck on a couple of funny things. And he was trying to bring me back to his original location, but for some reason the game glitched and he dropped me somewhere where he wasn't supposed to. And he ran back and put those little box things on top of one another.
The hell?
I grabbed the flashlight, saved, grabbed the security badge, and chaos ensued.
Why would you do that?
This section was extremely easy for me because I've done it probably 3 times at this point.
Oh, I think I glitched him.
So I knew where most of the generators were. It was just a matter of memorization, knocking down the boxes, and getting the generators. Once I was done with that section, I saved and exited the daycare, which I was forced out by Sundrop because he was not very happy that I turned the lights off.
Security alert! Security alert!
It's at this point that every single animatronic that is trying to kill you is basically here at this moment. Because Freddy spawns behind me and I can't use him, I attempted to run up the stairs and get to the exit. At this point, the daycare attendant is free to roam every hour when the lights go out, so I knew I had to be quick and get to the recharge station.
Oh, bro, wait, this is a required Freddy section.
It was at this point when I realized I can't get out of the daycare without Freddy's help, because the gate at the front entrance of the daycare will stay locked unless you use Freddy. It's another invisible barrier that you can't get through. This is the second of the required Freddy areas, and that's it. After this point, the real challenge begins. It's at this point in the game where you get to go to the main atrium, and once you get here, you get jump scared by a map bot who gives you a map. Really interesting jump scare, but whatever. It's whatever. Anyway, you have a choice. You can either go down into the lower area where the kitchen is and get that key card, or you can go up to L Chips and get the key card. At this point, you see me going up to L Chips, but I'm not going up to L Chips to get that security badge. I'm actually just going there to grab a Fizzy Faz, which increases my stamina a little bit. Now, stamina and my running speed are very important. If you can outrun the animatronics, you'll be fine. So I grabbed the Monty Fizzy Faz, and I made my way back downstairs, to which I went through the first floor vent into the basement area with the kitchen. Here, I grabbed a Glamrock Freddy Fizzy Faz. That is 2 out of 4 stamina upgrades. Because this is a very common place for Chica to spawn, well, every time you come down here, she always spawns, I had to get around her, which was pretty simple. As she was chasing me, I ran into a security office in which there was a pizza maker bot. Once connected to this pizza maker bot, you just go through, make a pizza, add sauce, cheese, meat, and not meat, and Chica will be teleported to the kitchen, where she will remain until this next section. So basically all I had to do was sneak past her while she was in the kitchen and get to the loading docks, where Freddy tells you that you can't escape this way because the clearance is too high. You need higher security level. So you exit through this door where Chica now spawns in this bathroom locker room area. It's all about navigating through this area into the laundry room, in which Vanessa will jump scare you.
Out of my way! Gotcha!
Once Vanessa gets you, you are taken to the Lost and Found, which is in the main lobby, where you got your daycare pass. Basically, once Vanessa stops talking, you get to grab a screwdriver, which you escape through a vent on the right side of the office, into the main lobby, and you have to run straight to the atrium before Vanny gets you. Very, very simple stuff. However, I decided to stay back, and I got to see this absolute gem of a run cycle. What in the actual fuck? While she was in hot pursuit, I got spotted by a security guard because I was not being careful. But I also remember that there was a Fizzy Faz down in one of these rooms, and it was a level 2 security pass, so I could easily get in. I went in and quickly grabbed it, which is 3 of 4 stamina upgrades. Once I got to the main atrium, I had to find Freddy at the Roxy Raceway, which I hopped over a few boxes and found him basically breaking down. I am then tasked to go to the backstage and get a backstage pass, which I have to deal with Roxy and a ton of security guards before I do that, and it was just pretty time consuming overall. Right before you get the backstage pass, there is a flashlight upgrade in this little side room in the backstage area. I then go grab the backstage pass and then make my way to the backstage office. I think that's what it's called at least. Now this room has very basic FNAF stuff. Basically, you need to let Freddy into 5 different doors through the buttons on underneath certain monitors while keeping Monty and Roxanne out of the room. My game glitched and Freddy seemed to be stuck in one of the monitors. Apparently he was not in that one. One of the monitors was also off. Some glitch was happening. I couldn't see outside. I don't think Monty or Roxanne were actually there, so I lucked out with that glitch. Even though this section is easy and I still would have been able to beat it without, you know, the glitch happening. This is a very easy section of the game. Once you allow Freddy access to this room, he comes up and breaks this vent underneath it. Then, Freddy leads you through this underground tunnel that goes straight to the main stage. Once you make it to the main stage, Freddy tells you that the only way to activate the stage lift is to activate the Showtime protocol, which means you have to go up to the 3rd floor, go to the Showtime access stage area, I don't really know what it's called, and put a Showtime disc in that booth. Getting to the 3rd floor was relatively easy. It was getting down after putting the disc in that was a bit troublesome. Now this area with Chica was not ideal at all. Unfortunately, Vanessa does spawn and knows where your location is all the time. And Chica also did spot me, unfortunately. So I went down this escalator. I thought I was safe, because Chica can't go down an escalator. Turns out I was dead wrong, because she spawned right behind me. Oh my god! She chased me this way, and I tried to go up an escalator, not knowing that it would be a dead end. Got me killed.
Oh. Oh, bruh.
The good thing about that is that when I respawned, I do not think Vanny also respawned. So Vanny was gone. I did not have to deal with her. So I was able to take my time through this section and make my way to the main stage, which I brought Freddy down. But before I got to parts and service, Moon Man was back. It was like 3 a.m. or something like that. Moon Man was back. Once I made it to a recharge station, which was required, Moondrop took Freddy into parts and service, so I was out. I couldn't use him. Good for me though, because that's the whole point of this, right? Anyway, this is the part right before my least favorite section of the game, the Weeping Angel section. For those of you who don't know what a Weeping Angel is, it's basically, I'm pretty sure the origin is Doctor Who. Anyway, it's a creature where if you're looking at it, it can't move, but the second you turn away, it'll start moving. So think SCP-173. The statue that moves when you blink. It's basically that, but I don't know, 30 robots. Basically, you just run through a maze of these guys while they activate behind you every single time you turn a new corner, and press buttons. Until I got to the security office, picked up that next security badge, then 10 of them activated in that room, and I bolted. I got out of there. Once I get that security badge and return, Freddy is talking to Vanessa about me, the child, Gregory. Once she leaves, I go into parts and service, and, you know, this 10, 12-year-old kid now does parts and service repair on Freddy. Once I make it past that, I go up to Roxy's room, which is the only working elevator. I got really nervous here. I wasn't sure what would happen if I entered her room while she was crying as Gregory, because I had always entered as Freddy. But since I couldn't use Freddy, I had to go in otherwise. When you enter as Gregory, she just leaves the room, which was very strange. It's not like she starts roaming outside, she just leaves and despawns. Basically what I had to do was I had to go to Freddy's room, get back in the vents and crawl all the way to Chica's room while little mini Music Man was chasing me. And there I get a party pass. And at this point it's already 4 a.m. Since it's 4 a.m., Moon Man shows up. That means I need to get to a recharge station. And I know what you're thinking. The second I get in that recharge station, yes, Freddy teleports to me and I'm in Freddy. But the game is unbeatable if you don't go to that charging station. But I didn't do anything with Freddy. I went into the recharge station and immediately exited Freddy. So I don't count that as using him. Listen, there's a lot of gray area here. Don't pay too much attention to it. What I have to do now is either choose Monty Gator Golf or Phaser Blast. I made the unfortunate decision to go to Monty Golf instead of Phaser Blast. Now, it's not that bad. It's actually, on some fronts, it is better to go there. Now, the first problem I had to deal with was the fact that there were hundreds of security guards just in this one place. There were not this many in Phaser Blast. There weren't even any in Phaser Blast. So basically, I had to make my way past all these security bots, and I failed miserably. and Monty, you know, he started to chase me. But I did get to that security office, get that security badge, get the Faz camera, which will stun the animatronics, and this is a very good item. I think it's better than the phaser blaster, even though it has a terrible recharge. And I also get the maser size ticket, which is another section I need to go to. However, before I am able to go to maser size, I have to go all the way back to the daycare. Remember that section with the sun and moon guy? I gotta go back there now. Oh my god. Wait, to be honest with you, I did not consider the fact that I have to go to, what's it called? The daycare. I didn't consider that, like, in the slightest. Because, quite frankly, I forgot about the daycare. For those of you who don't know, the daycare hosts, those funny little, endoskeletons from earlier. The ones that, you know, move when you aren't looking. There's a couple of them down there, quite a few actually. So I decided that it was in my best interest to try to get the running shoes in the Roxy Raceway Salon, which I went to get before going to the daycare because I thought, you know, if I increase my speed, I have a better chance of evading the funny men, because I did not want to have to literally look all around, because they don't just spawn behind me, no, they're all over the place. In front of me, behind me, to the sides, and whatnot. So after I grabbed those running shoes, I made my way all the way to the daycare. And at this point, the daycare now actually has security bots roaming, so that's another thing I have to worry about. So I tried to get to the lobby and the daycare as quickly as I could, and tried to make it past all the security bots. I did use the camera quite a few times here, just because there was no point in risking spawning Roxanne, Chica, or Monty, whoever was going to come after me, if I got spotted. Once I made it to the theater, I made my way down to the lower section with all those endoskeletons. And once I got down to the lower basement area, I quickly saved because I didn't want to risk having to go all the way back, grabbed the maser-sized console key, and started running for my life from these honestly terrifying creatures. Thanks to the running shoes, I was able to make it out of there without dying for the first try, and I was very, very happy about that. Once I got that key, I went all the way back to the atrium. Just before going to maser size, I made my way to the bakery, which housed the hoodie, which increased my stealth when it came to crouching and just, you know, the vision of the animatronics. It made them less likely to see me, which was also a big plus. I feel like all the upgrades, except for the Freddy upgrade, are pretty helpful with this challenge, just because it makes everything so much easier. So once I grabbed that hoodie, I then made my way to the third floor, to maser size, to which I used the console in the center room to move the green wall with tacos to the top left corner, to which I made it through the maze and into the upper section of Monty Golf. Here, to activate the beginning of the boss fight, you have to hit 2 of these Montgomery Gator targets with this shooting gun ball thing, which then will activate the lifts, the ride, to which when you jump down, Monty will spawn and the boss fight will begin. Now this boss fight is actually fairly simple. There's a big dunk tank on the opposite side of this area from where you spawn in. What you have to do is you have to use these guns on the rafters, whatever these, you know, pathways are called, to shoot balls into that bucket so that it will overflow. Problem is, Monty is basically constantly chasing you. There is some room to breathe when it comes to shooting them, but Monty likes to do this little thing where he jumps up into the air and lands pretty close to you. I've had some close calls in the past, and I had a close call a couple times here because he just loved to spawn very close to me. Whenever you see the screen shake a lot, that means he landed right next to me. Once the bucket was finally filled, I made my way to this little button here, which Monty, you know, he decides to do this little jump thing and appears right in front of me. Press the button, dump the bucket onto him, and he falls to his quote-unquote demise. Now that Monty has been decommissioned, I am able to grab his claws, which are one of 2 necessary upgrades in this challenge. I make my way through a vent that was behind the main stage in Monty Golf, and I make my way back to the main elevator. From here, I have to make my way back to the main stage in the atrium, which will bring me back down to the parts and service section. See, the problem was for me, For some reason, even though Freddy was on the lift with me, I could not press the button to move the main stage. So I had to make my way all the way back to Rockstar Row, and I decided to go through Roxanne's elevator. Once I made it down to parts and service, I put Freddy into the protective cylinder, started the upgrade, put Monty's claws on, and then we made our way back to Rockstar Row. With this new claw upgrade, I was now finally able to go to Roxy's Raceway. Now, I did get the Monty claws. I just got the Monty claws, right? You would think I'd have to, get into Freddy to use this, but... And he'll break it for me automatically. When I got to Roxy Raceway, I needed to grab 2 different items. I needed to grab the dance pass to get into the West Arcade, and then I had to grab the driver assist head, which was damaged. Because Gregory is a short little lad, he can't drive the cart alone, so I need to be with a driver assist bot. Since the bot on the cart does not have a head, and this one's broken, I gotta go fix it. Before grabbing either of those items, I went to the right side of Roxy Raceway and grabbed the very last Fizzy Faz, so that I have complete and full stamina for the rest of the game. Then I went and grabbed the dance pass from one of the party garages. Once I got that, I went and grabbed the damaged head and made my way upstairs to the West Arcade, featuring DJ Music Man. A lot of people don't like this section. I think it's a good challenge. I do enjoy this section, and it doesn't require Freddy, so it's a win-win. Once I got to the West Arcade, I made my way to the security office, which was located on the 3rd floor on the far right of the map. On my way, I tried my best not to get spotted by any of the security bots, as Chica and Monty will soon be an issue here, so being spotted early is just going to be an inconvenience. Once I make it to the unloaded security office, the lights go out as the arcade undergoes its startup protocol, because for some reason, the arcade was not shut off properly. In this section, there are 5 different fuse boxes, 4 of them which I need to get before returning to the security office and getting the final one. The first one being right next to DJ Music Man at the dance floor. Once I flip the first switch, Music Man now becomes an antagonist, as he will chase me throughout this entire section, trying to get me, as well as Chica, and not really Monty. He doesn't do much, he kind of just sits there. I make my way to the men's bathroom on the lower level, which houses another electrical box. Flip that switch, and Music Man appears right outside the bathroom doors, trying to grab me from outside with his big meaty claws. After nearly avoiding his big hand just kind of sitting there on the ground, I make my way over to the left side of the first level, which houses another electrical box, and Monty's supposed to be patrolling there, but since he's decommissioned, he kind of just sits in the center of that little arcade area, so he's no issue, and neither is this box. After that, I have to make it to the 3rd level, because the last switch is literally right above the last one, so I have to make my way up the stairs and avoid Chica as best as I can as I make it to that switch. Once I get to that switch, I flip it, and I can go all the way back to the hallway behind the security office. The 5th and final switch is at the end of the hallway, where once you flip the switch, Music Man will appear in the big tube at the very end and start to chase you as you run back to the security office. This part was easy since I had full stamina and running shoes, so I was both quick and could run for a long time, so I didn't really have an issue. So once I made it back to the security office, the lights came back on, I saved, put the damaged head in the machine, and it repaired it. Once I repaired the head, I grabbed the last security badge, and I made my way back to Roxy Raceway. On my way to Roxy Raceway, Freddy was looking a little annoying, so I decided to, maybe blind him quickly. The game quickly punished me for blinding Freddy with my insanely good camera by not allowing the safe station to load in Roxy Raceway. In the Roxy Raceway, all of a sudden a bunch of security staff robots decided to, show up here. I returned back to the damaged assist bot in the cart. I put the head back on the bot, and it was time to decommission Roxy. Unfortunately, there's no real battle before she gets decommissioned. It's really just a cutscene where, I just do a little driving, and Roxy just gets into an unfortunate accident because she's really stupid.
I'm gonna be butt-ass naked so the wind could just be hitting my balls and shit. Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Once both Roxy and I are thrown into this lower section of the Roxy Raceway, me, the menace that I am, decide to take her eyes so she can't see anymore. And all seems fine, all seems happy and dandy, until I press this little button by the door, and she just decides, oh, I'm back. I didn't actually die.
My death was greatly exaggerated.
This section is just all about stealth, utilizing the hiding spots, and overall just trying to get away from Roxy. You know, even though she doesn't have eyes, she's like Daredevil. Daredevil's a blind superhero if you don't know. After Roxy broke the door into the burning room, I decided to hide in this little container after she had spotted me. Funny thing is, this game's buggy right now. So Roxy just decided to stand on top of the box that I was in, and I did get to see oh god. I'm watching this live. I'm watching this in like real time as I'm editing this. I did not realize Roxy was gonna spaz like that. I did not remember that. I was gonna make a feet joke, but I couldn't come up with it. Anyway, moving on. After easily escaping Roxy, need I add, it was very easy. I get to give Freddy some brand new eyes. Because I didn't trust the main stage anymore, I decided to go back to Roxy's room, go in her elevator to go straight down to parts and service. Once I made it down to parts and service, it was basically your routine installation of, you know, eyes. You know, we've all done that before. Don't let the parts and service minigame deceive you. These are extremely stressful. Once I got through that, it was now time to finally get to the main lobby and, escape. Because this is a no Freddy challenge, as the title suggests, I had to make it to the main lobby without Freddy. Whether or not you're in Freddy, Moonman will only kill you if you touch him, or if the clock strikes an hour, so 6 a.m. in this case. As long as I make it to the main lobby by 6 a.m., I'll be fine. To get out of the Pizzaplex, I went through Roxy's elevator one last time, exiting through her green room and heading towards the atrium. When I made it to the atrium, as per usual, it did not load initially, because this game doesn't like to load. Made my way to the elevators on the south end of the atrium, which leads to the front lobby. Once the elevator finally stops, it's 5:54, and I am in the main lobby. I just have to make it down the stairs and head towards the front doors. At the front door, Moonman is taunting me as if he thinks he can get me because he thinks he's so good. But once I finally do make it to the front doors, Freddy goes on a whole emotional tangent about, oh, it's my design, I can't leave here. Freddy gets a little emotional, and I leave him. I leave him in the dust because I never needed him in the first place. And then I end up dying, but that's beside the point. And this marks the end of the Freddy-less challenge. Can you beat Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach without Freddy? Like I said, no. Not completely. But once you get past, like, you know, obviously the required sections, yeah, it's possible. Now, this challenge wasn't difficult. It definitely wasn't difficult because I experienced so many glitches in the game that just, like, enemies wouldn't load in certain sections. I was able to easily get to things early, like by clipping through the walls, like the invisible barriers and whatnot. So obviously when this game is like fully patched, this might be a little harder. I'm open to trying a harder version of this challenge. You know, there could be added rules like permadeath, or I have to get, you know, every item possible without Freddy or whatnot, whatever the challenge might be. But I enjoyed this a lot, actually. It's an alright game. I mean, yeah, people have mixed feelings on it. Some people hate it, some people love it. That's their opinion. I enjoy this game. It's a lot of dumb fun for me, but, you know, for some people, it's just not their cup of tea. It's not a perfect game by any means. It's definitely not one of my favorite games of all time because of all the glitches and how, you know, incomplete this game feels, especially when it comes to story. But I hope you enjoyed this. This was something new. I have nothing else to say except for, like the video if you enjoyed or made it this far, subscribe if you made it this far. I'm not gonna force you to do any of that, but, you know, that'd be appreciated. So have a good morning, afternoon, night, whatever it might be. Also, linked is gonna be the full run for this challenge if you want to check it out, because I didn't actually showcase every single glitch that I encountered, every single little thing I did. I really just went over the main things I did for the run. So if you want to see it, it's an unlisted video linked in the description, and it's going to be on a card in a couple seconds, so go watch that if you're interested.